Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into this video. My name is Jada Brown Thompson, and as the title suggests, in this video we are building a fence at our rental property in Baltimore. And this is going to be multiple videos because it took us about 4 weekends of concentrated labor to finish this fence, because as you guys know, Jerome does have a full-time job, so this was a weekend project for us. And as you guys also know, we like to do a lot of DIY projects at our properties to save money and also to increase our skills, and also just like a fun family effort. So anyway, this did take about 4 weekends, but maybe if we would have done it straight through, maybe 5 or 6 days, right? And so when we were planning this fence, originally we were going to do like one of those steel fences because they are pretty inexpensive to buy the material for, and they last a long time. You know, they're very durable. They can last maybe 15 to 25 years without needing to be replaced. And because it's a rental property, we were like, well, you know, this would be good because, you know, it's inexpensive and it's durable, and that's every landlord's dream. But then when we started planning it out, I was like, okay, we could do a black one because that looks kind of chic. But then when we started planning it out, we were like, well, this property, this rental property, it's like one of our favorites because it's in a really nice area, and it was built in the mid-90s, which is really not that old. I think this property is just a few years older than me. But in terms of houses, especially the housing stock in Baltimore, Baltimore does have a lot of older row homes that were built, you know, in the early 1900s. And so, and maybe even before that. But this property is newer in terms of housing stock in Baltimore. So we were like, okay, this property is going to appreciate in value, we believe, because of the neighborhood and also because of the aesthetics of the neighborhood. And actually, our home is the first rental property in that area. All of the houses that you see that look like our house there, they're all owner occupied, right? Which means that people get in there and they stay there. Most of the owners in this small subdivision have lived there since these properties were new construction in the 90s, and our property is the first one to be a rental. And our tenants have been living there now for years because they love it, right? So we were like, let's spend the extra time and the extra money to build a picket fence because it would match the aesthetics of the area more, and because the tenants are going to really like the look of the picket fence. So that's why we decided to do a picket fence. And I think for the measurement of our backyard, which is where we put the fence, I think that the I think that the metal fence would have been about $800 to $1,200 in material, and the picket fence was about $2,300. So we spent more, but we're thinking about the longevity, we're thinking about the appreciation of the property's value, we're thinking about what type of tenants we would attract in the long term, and just the aesthetics of the surrounding neighborhood, because none of our other neighbors have none of our other neighbors have an aluminum fence. They all, or the steel fence, they all have a picket fence. So that is why we went with the picket fence. And if they don't have the picket fence, then they have those privacy fences, right? So you're not seeing a lot of those other type of fences in the area. Like you can even see behind us, the property behind us, they have a picket fence, right? So we're just trying to match the aesthetics. And it's a corner unit too, which means that you see this property from two different streets. So it was really important for us to preserve the aesthetics of the neighborhood, especially since we're right on Front Street. So that is why we did that. And you will see in the video as well that Jerome had to line out all the spacing. So the post had to go every 8 feet, and you also have to dig down at least 24 inches or 2 feet into the ground to make sure that you get below the frost line. And because we're in Maryland, our frost line is only 2 feet. Now, I know in Michigan, the frost line is 3 feet, right? So you just have to look up your local code. And then we put the post every 8 feet, and you will see that it took most of the time for the prep work, right? Digging into the ground, making sure that we get the 2 feet. You will see that we'll measure. We had to use a San Angelo bar to break up the rocks and the stone, and then use this post hole digger to scoop up that broken up soil, right? So as you can see, Jerome is using his measuring tip, measuring to see how far he's gone, and then he has to repeat the process, a couple of times until he gets to 24 feet. And that's when you could put the post in. So most of the hard work was just doing what you see he's doing here, breaking up that soil, scooping it up, and measuring. It was back-breaking work, literally, right? And before you dig, you have to call 811, which sends a message to like the utility companies and any other important decision maker, and they will send some contractors out to ensure that they mark the ground, so when you're digging, you don't hit any of your like important wiring down there. So like for us, Xfinity came out, they said we're all good, and then Baltimore Gas and Electric came out. They sprayed one place and said, okay, you cannot dig here or around this marking. So that helped us plan the fence out, and it is a rule. You have to call 811 before you dig. But yeah, so besides that, you'll see in this video just us doing prep work, lining out the fence, lining out where our posts are going to be. That took maybe a day's worth of work because Jerome wanted to make sure that he got everything even, everything was in line. It had to be 8 feet on the money, So they say prep work is 80% of any project, and I definitely learned that with the fence.
make it anytime, anywhere. In the square, so me a fear. Young as a woman, I will be there. Keep on talking, make your wine for me. Keep on talking, make your take care of me. Me feel it, and me feel it. Oh, me have to really squeeze it. Y'all me want for you all, yeah. Put me arms right around, yeah. Y'all give me the tightest hold me ever get in my life. Y'all me just want to squeeze, yeah. Put me things all around, yeah. Y'all you give me the tightest hold me ever get in my life.
Me cash hot hot, who I want tax? Me Rolex on the cheap price on tap. Me white like sand, crypto fast. Millions, billions, ha ha.
Boss for every boss, done for every done. Ever militant, so it and a so it and. Humble like a lamb, tell them no confusion. Boss for every boss.
Darky, darky, no cause of darkness. Darky, darky, no. Darky, darky, no. Darkness forever, man. Darky, darky, no. Darky, darky, no.
Straight jeans and me be a ganja. We a real bad man, that's why she love we. She no want the money, she just want quick. We no need reason for fucking girl. We no need vehicle for fucking girl. Cause we a real.
Who can this my dog and survive? Make talk and few Glock no rise. Barrel no empty so we now make no nice. Go suck, mother telling him we don't polite.
Dog them a feelings, me dog them a feelings. No bangs a girl, no like how we a live. Fighting for it, style go for it. My dog them a feelings, me dog them a feelings.
Everybody up,
Yeah, give them a update.
everybody up. Love the look, yeah, give them up.
Every time I rise, we do it for the love and I do it for the life. Do it for the love and I do it for the life. Do it for the love and I do it for the life. Do it for the love and I do it for the life.
Curry like a spin and a spit out shot. It a race and a flick out. But girl skin out them hold me and dig out that. Tell you like a tin rock flat. Hosanna. God, she little.
Alright, y'all, update. So we are still here working on the fence. It is currently 6:05 p.m. and my goal was to be out of here by 5. But now the goal is 7. Jerome wants to just use the rest of the concrete that we have, the 3 bags here, and just set 3 more posts, and then he'll come tomorrow. I didn't plan on working today. Leave the door. Leave the door. I didn't plan on working today, but you guys know me. I cannot just sit and watch. So sand is in my hair because the boys were helping to dig, which really means just throwing the dirt up in the air. So lost the earring. Jerome is still back there leveling the post. One of them was giving him problems because it was supposed to be 8 feet exactly, but it seems like it's 8 feet 5 inches. So that was giving him some problems, but he said he has a solution for it. So we're just sitting here. I'm taking a break because I'm a little tired from digging. The fence, the gate posts have to go down 30 to 36 inches because of the fact that, you know, the gate slams shut, you know, you open and you shut it and all that stuff. So that one has to, all the rest of them are 24 inches because that's what the frost line determines here, 24 inches. But the fence one has to go 30 to 36 inches. So I already dug it 24 inches, 2 feet, but I'm gonna go down another foot to make it 3 feet because of the fact that that one, it has so much use of opening, closing it. You also use a deeper or longer post. So this is going to be a 4-foot fence. Come out of there. Yes. So this is going to be a 4-foot gate, but because, so it's going to be a 4-foot gate, 4 feet from off the ground. But because you're going 2 feet in the ground, you use a 6-foot post. So these posts were 6 feet. 2 feet in the ground, 4 feet above, which makes a 4-foot gate. All right. This is what I tell my students. You need math because they say, "Oh, we're never going to use it." Well, I'm using math right now. All right. Next thing, because the gate, again, you open and close it, right? Because of it has so much use, we're using an 8-foot post, and it's going 3 feet in the ground. So therefore, it's going to be like 5 feet up. So my father said, okay, you just cut that top off, but you need the 8-foot post because you're going 3 feet in the ground. And if you would have used a 6-foot post, when you put the 6 foot down in the 3 feet, you only have 3 feet above, so it would be too short. So I was told to get the 8-foot post, put it down 3 feet. Now you have 5 feet above the ground, cut that foot off, and therefore you'll be fine. And all the other posts take 1 bag of cement, but for that one, we're going to use maybe 2 to 3 bags of cement because of, you know, it needs to be extra strong. Update is 7 o'clock, and we're doing the last bag of concrete that we brought, and then we're going. I'm tired. We need a bath. I'm really in the mood for some jerk pork right now. Don't know if I'm gonna get it.